Now your next step would be to clean the image up if it needs it. Now in reality, this image is pretty clean and doesn't really need to be cleaned up, but I'm going to do it anyway because you need to learn how to use the clone tool. For example, let's say we want to get rid of this basketball hoop here. So what we want to do is use the clone tool to erase it. So I'm going to go up here to the clone tool. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to go into details in these tutorials. It's an overview to give you the sequence of events of what you would need to do. If you want to watch the movie on the clone tool, you will learn much more. So basically, how the clone tool works is that it will grab textures from the image and draw them in another place. Let me grab a big brush, and I'm going to grab the shingles up here on the roof, and I'm going to draw them down on the ground. Not that you would want to do this, but just to show you how the clone tool works. It grabs textures or images from the picture in the background and draws them in another place where you tell it to do it. So I'm going to undo that. So first you want to select on a brush size. If you go over here to the menu and click on this pointer here, you'll see that there are large brushes on the bottom. You slide this to the top and they become smaller. And they alternate between square and round. Square is going to work best on this because I need straight lines. So I'm going to grab the biggest square brush I can. I'm going to hold my cursor close to the basketball hoop, and then I'm going to zoom in by pressing F10 on the keyboard. And let's scroll down a little bit, put this in the center. So what you want to do is you want to grab the shingles from the left and paint them over here on the right. So what you do is you right click, and that sets down your first brush. And then I'm going to line this brush up with the other one, and you want to make sure they're lined up when you're doing something that has lines in it. It's pretty crucial. So now I'm going to click with my left mouse and drag it across, and as you can see, it's erasing the basketball hoop. So I'll do that down here. I'm going to do this in a couple sequences because I can't bring it all the way across because the brushes are too large. They'll actually erase things that I don't want to be erased. So I've gotten most of it out of there. So what I'm going to then do now is get a smaller brush, and then I'm going to right click and draw with the stucco of the house. And now I'm going to just get this little piece here, so I'll right click next to it. And of course, if I zoom out by pressing F9, really, do you need to get into that much detail? Probably not, but I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. So I could try and clone this with the clone tool, but when you're going up at an angle, it'd probably be easier just to grab these shingles here and move them over the ones I want to remove. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to go into the Define Area tool. I'm going to define these shingles by drawing around them. Then click OK, and now I want to make them an object. So I just click on them and drag them. It says, do you want to convert them to an object? Say yes. And now you see I've just grabbed those shingles from below and I'm moving them up here. And I left a little piece there, but I think when I zoom out, you're not really going to see it. Now let's zoom in here, and I want to fix this pull right here. So again, I'm going to go into the clone tool. I'll right click and then just get rid of that. Get rid of this piece here. Now I know from experience using the clone tool is not going to work down here, and the reason is that the garage here is kind of in shadows here. So if you look at this, you'll see that this is dark here and it's lighter over here. From experience, I know that's not going to work, but what you can do is you could grab a couple sections of the garage door here. So I'm just going to use again the Define Area tool. Using the polygon tool, I grabbed an area. I'm going to move it and turn it into an object. Say yes. And now I have those two sections of door that I'm going to move right in here into place. And then I'm going to go in and just fix this piece here. Again, this is my philosophy. It's all about closing the deal and getting the job. This isn't real. This is just an image. It's in a computer. Of course, hopefully you'll do better work in reality when you're doing a real job, but the purpose of an image is to sell the job. And other people are pickier than others, but I assure you they're going to be impressed if you walk in there with an image when we get done here. So I want to just get rid of this little piece here. I'll zoom in, and let's go back into the clone tool, get a smaller brush, and I'll right click here, and I'm just going to bring this down. So now I'll zoom back out, zoom out again, and as you can see, if you look closely, this part of the door is lighter than the rest of the garage door, but it's really this part of the door. It just looks lighter because it should be in the shadows. Okay, so basically we're done cleaning it up. I don't have to remove the bottom part here because I'm going to cover that up with decorative concrete, so there's no need to do that. So that's basically how you clean up an image, by using the clone tool and the define area tool. Next, you want to set the scale of the image. Now, you really don't have to do this. It just makes life a little bit easier for you if you do. To set the scale, you'll need to know a dimension in the picture. For example, if you know the distance of this driveway, that would help. If you don't know the distance, you can always just pretty much guess. We know the garage door is going to be, say, maybe 20 feet, so this driveway here might be 25 feet. So we go up here to Tools and we click on Measure Image. You'll notice that the cursor turns into a measuring tape. So what you do is you go over here to one point, you put the X there, then click, and then bring it over to the next point and click, and this menu will pop up, and you just type in the distance of those 2 points. And I said it was 20. Oh, I said 25, didn't I? 25 feet. So we'll click OK, and now that is set. If you forget to set the scale, it doesn't really matter. Everything's still going to work, and you can always go back and do it later.